Hold 'em up, folks, because Running Horse gone and ventured back to ancient Carthage. Went a-riding along with old Hannibal to see if he really had done what he'd done. Outmaneuver an entire Roman army and slaughter 50,000 soldiers in one battle. Hollywood rolls out a Rome movie once a decade, and well, that just don't sit right with Running Horse. So, we saddled up and rode down to southern Italy, round about 216 BC. Now, if you ain't heard tell of General Hannibal Barca, reckon you're missing the legend of the most feared hombre ever to ride against Rome. He was such a hellraiser, the Romans had a nickname for him, calling him Hannibal ad Portus, meaning Hannibal at the gates. A name, centuries later, would send shivers down little Roman spines. You best behave, 'cause Hannibal's at the gate. See, Rome and Carthage had been going at it for years, one war after another, both too stubborn to back off. It started with control over Sicily in the First Punic War. When Carthage lost, Rome took more than just the island. They took Carthage's pride. Hamilcar Barca, Hannibal's father, swore revenge, and his son picked up where he left off, marching straight into Italy to bring the fight to Rome's doorstep. For 2 years, Hannibal busted up the Roman legions real good, tearing through Italy and leaving the Republic humiliated. By 216 BC, Rome was done horsing around, raising the biggest army the Republic ever seen, 86,000 infantry and 6,000 cavalry, all with one purpose: humiliate Hannibal, crush his army, and purge him from history. Hannibal? Well, he had some brains and studied his enemy well. He knew the deadliest critter ain't the one that runs. It's the one waiting for you to step too close. And those Romans? Just a-marching along, too blinded by their own arrogance to see the jaws of history closing in on them. Here came the Battle of Cannae, the fight Rome was sure would be Hannibal's last. Legions of shields and swords, a war machine rolling forward with the weight of an empire in its destiny, driving straight toward a reckoning across the dry, open plains bordering the Aufidus River. General Gaius Terentius Varro, leading Rome's might, unleashed a stampede of legionaries thick as thieves, straight into the line, not realizing they were marching into a trap set long before the first sword was drawn. Hannibal commanded just 50,000 men, leaving his weakest troops in the center, bait, meant to lure Rome's forces deeper. The harder they pushed, the further they wedged themselves between his veterans on the flanks. And right there at the center of it, Hannibal himself, riding alongside his men, watching the Romans take the bait. The trap was sprung. Hannibal's Numidian cavalry rode in through the dust and came crashing down on the Roman flanks, leaving the infantry exposed. At the same time, his veterans on the wings, hardened African and Iberian soldiers, pivoted inward, pressing the Romans from both sides. With the river at their backs and no room to maneuver, the Romans started suffocating inside their own formation. Packed so tight they couldn't lift them swords. A slaughter is what came next. Trapped on all sides, the army collapsed in on itself. Men were crushed, trampled underfoot, or cut down as they tried to flee. By sundown, over 50,000 lay dead, 1/5 of Rome's fighting age wiped out in a single day. No battle before or after would leave Rome so broken, but it sure as heck didn't leave them beaten. The Republic don't take kindly to humiliation, and before long, they'd be back in the saddle, riding toward revenge. Strange, isn't it? A man who threatened an empire, rode war elephants over the Alps, was a military genius, and commanded the army that killed 1/5 of Rome's fighting men in a single day hasn't been portrayed on the silver screen. Hollywood's too busy focus grouping. They don't pay no mind to the real legends of history. That's why Running Horse come along to tell the tale. Y'all plan on riding along for the next epic? We got an extra horse with your subscribe button on it. Running Horse will keep keeping on, but riding with a pal, well, that's living, friend.